So we continue our satsang on Sathya Sai, and of course I'm not going to repeat again all my ideas and memories about him. So I have many videos about Sathya Sai. Anyway, our topic today is different meditation techniques given by Sathya Sai, and maybe we have next time to discuss all kinds of Soha meditation which he gave to the people, and it's very ancient and the most fundamental meditation technique, and I'm very happy that Sathya Sai was fond of that, and he was always teaching people Soha meditation. Okay, and your question is about very unusual meditation technique which I am describing in my books, and I was fortunate enough to be his translator in 80s for the Russian speaking groups, and I wrote and published 3 books in Russian language, and now we are in the process of publishing all that in English. And in one of that book, I'm describing, in all that 3 books which I wrote and published about Sathya Sai, actually I'm describing different spiritual instructions given to me and to different people, to many different people. And so it's happened that in 90s I was translating for Sathya Sai, and it means I was really always receiving interviews. So great chance to be with him and translate for the people and ask my personal questions. And it was in one of that interview, personal meeting, we call it interview, he told to me and to some other people as well that very strange advice. And as you remember, that my first reaction was, is it a joke or not? He told me that, go to any photo studio, dress yourself as a Krishna with a flute, take like that good pictures, then print it as big size as you can, put it on the wall, and meditate on that. Meditate, and even you can worship, but mostly his advice was about practice of meditation.
In which way meditation? Just looking or what?
In a Vedic tradition and in a Christian tradition as well, we say that form and names are illusion. Even for the Christian tradition, we say, how can we put form, how can we imagine Lord God in a form? It's impossible. Of course, for the Orthodox and Catholic tradition, we sometimes picture it as the 3 angels, Holy Trinity. But at the same time, we understand that this Holy Trinity, these 3 angels, actually just icon, it's illusion. Lord God is beyond that form. Sometimes in the Christian tradition, we put triangle and say, this is a symbol for the God. But at the same time, it's also illusion because God is beyond this triangle. We may concentrate on form of Jesus the Christ because it's a great master, Messiah, but the Christ consciousness is not form of the Christ. If you go to the church, Catholic church or Orthodox church, and see the picture of Jesus, actually we understand that Christ consciousness is beyond that picture, but for us to concentrate, we use icon of Jesus or Virgin Mary. In the Vedic tradition, it's something similar. We may concentrate on Shiva. For example, just behind me is the picture of Shiva. You can't see it, but just for my camera, it's like, okay, we may meditate on picture of Shiva, or picture of, or statue, or picture of Krishna, or like, you know, for us as the modern Western yoga and meditation practitioners, people meditate on Buddha. You know, even if we are not Buddhists, we easily may meditate on Buddha's form. And of course, we understand, or at least we have to understand, that picture of Shiva, picture of Buddha, picture of whatever, Krishna, Kali, is just form, it's illusion. But consciousness or energy is beyond that form. By the way, Sathya Sai Baba was always saying to the people, come on, you guys, you attached to my form, but I'm not form. I'm beyond that form. And for most of devotees, it was extremely difficult because of devotion, because of emotion, because of, you know, love, compassion, even attachment to the divine master, whom we know as the Sathya Sai. It was very difficult to experience, okay, we are really ready to approach Sathya Sai as somebody who is beyond form. It was very difficult. Maybe because I'm Westerner, maybe because I'm Kriya Yoga meditation practitioner. Okay, in 90s it was for me really impossible to approach Sathya Sai without form. But in, you know, like maybe 2005, 2010, I was really, my experience was like, okay, he is a pure divine consciousness. And that's the reason why when he passed away 2011, sometimes it's, you know, kind of hard for me to say that I was not crying. It was not problem for me. I mean, for many devotees, it's, oh no, awful. How can you say that he was not crying, you know, 2011 when our Swami left his body? But I was not, because for me, even 5 and 10 years before his departure from this physical form, it was obvious that he is consciousness. That's the reason why his form is, or maybe not, as his consciousness is always here and now. And what we know actually, that even after 2011, he sometimes may appear quite physically in front of the people and give guidance. He is visiting people and giving like lucid dream experiences, mystical dreams. That's, you know, even his form continue to exist in a sense, you know. And anyway, form is important because that is something on which we may concentrate. Even if we meditate and concentrate on the form of, okay, Krishna, Buddha, and Jesus, and Sathya Sai, even if we understand somehow that all that forms are illusion, but that's helpful illusion. That's helpful, because with the help of this form, we can go beyond form. And okay, form and name. Okay, all names are illusion, but in a Vedic, Buddhist, Christian, Islamic, Jewish tradition, we use names of the God. The most sacred, the most holy for the Jewish and Islamic tradition, names of the God. Even for Christians, maybe a little bit less. But for the Hindu people, yeah, names of the God is the source of blessing, source of grace, source of power, just 1,000 names of Vishnu. The famous mantra, Vishnu Sahasranama. That's just 1,000 names, you know. And we may say that 1,000 names of Vishnu, actually it's illusion, because no names can be attributed to the Lord. But with the help of these names, we can get whatever, grace, salvation, enlightenment. So we use this top level illusion to go beyond illusion, form and names. But then according to all real spiritual traditions, okay, inside each and every human being is God. The nature of each and every human being is God. In the Vedic tradition, maybe it's slightly easier because we have Advaita Vedanta philosophy, which is about, okay, you are God, you are consciousness. Okay, in the Buddhist tradition, they say, yeah, okay, in a sense, you are personality, but actually, your true nature is the Buddha consciousness. And a Buddha consciousness is not something like personality. It's just true nature of everything. In a wrong Christian tradition, they say God is somewhere upstairs, you are a stupid sinner, you are here, and you have whatever. Listen to the priest to get maybe salvation. Maybe you will not go to the hell. But genuine Christian tradition, what does it mean genuine? Just forget about churches. Open New Testament. Read Gospels. And a clear message of the Jesus is that each and every human being is divine. Each and every human being is God. Each and every human being has personal relationship with the supreme divinity. That's clear, obvious message from Gospel. And I mean to say, okay, how can we manage this huge concept that I am God? How can I manage it? I feel myself as the separate human being. I feel myself as somebody who's depending on everything, including climate, weather, government, financial crisis. Other human beings around me. How can I manage to realize that I am absolute consciousness? Nice concept, nice intellectual game, but how can I experience the stuff, yeah? And there are many techniques, and of course the most famous, the most ancient one is the Soham meditation. I think we'll discuss it once again, maybe next video. But that technique which I am now speaking about, which Sathya Sai gave to me and to some other devotees as well, and in Puttaparthi, in a village where like Sathya Sai was born and where his main ashram is. So it was a person, his name was Dr. Rao. And Dr. Rao is, he was very famous, wonderful person, devotee. He established a kind of Ayurvedic clinic not so far from the ashram, and he was like giving mostly herbal like medicine to the people, and also like Hatha Yoga classes, just Hatha Yoga, pranayama techniques every evening, every night. And I came to know that Dr. Rao also, he got the same instruction from Sathya Sai about meditation. He told me personally, Dr. Rao, like, take picture of yourself in the form of Krishna and meditate, just concentrate on that picture. And as you know, I met one American guy at that time in 90s, and he told me, yes, I also received the same instruction, but for that American guy, Sathya Sai told, you can take your picture in any form you like. You may dress yourself as a Jesus. You may dress yourself as a Buddha. You may dress yourself as a Krishna or Shiva. Take picture, but it must be really good one, yeah? Print it, huge size. So like that, I have my personal experience. I have personal experience from that American guy whom I knew at that time. Actually, I don't know about him right now. And Dr. Rao is also example. So it's like number of people to whom Sathya Sai gave this kind of technique. And of course, first reaction is something, okay, I mean, it's a joke. It's a joke because according to the normal, so-called normal Hindu, Buddhist, or Christian tradition, it's kind of crazy if you take, if you pretend that you are Krishna, Buddha, or Jesus, take picture and then put it on the wall and then worship or meditate. It's really outside of the box, outside of the comfort zone. But what is the meaning? Is that just you concentrate your mind on your form, and of course you understand that, okay, this picture is actually me. I mean, it's in the form of Krishna, it's in the form of Jesus, or maybe in the form of Buddha, but really, okay, I'm clear that that's me. I mean, I see myself, I mean, I recognize. But it just simple concentration, just 10-15 minutes, but every morning. I mean, nothing special about this technique. It's a very easy one. You just concentrate. This face, this form, enjoy it. And it's like a double feeling. Okay, that's, let us say, Krishna, but at the same time it's me. And then the divine trick, let me say it's divine trick, it's trick but divine, that when you just concentrate on that kind of picture for 10 or 15 minutes, but every morning, then something start to happen, let us say in 1 week, in 1 month, like few weeks like that, few months like that, and then you start to experience yourself. Okay, let us put it in a very simple way. Okay, your potentiality, your consciousness, your soul. Okay, let us describe it in the most simple way. Yourself. You start to feel yourself in a totally different way. You stop to approach yourself in a way like, oh, I'm weak, stupid, ignorant human being, and I'm depending on everything, including government, political processes, people around me, weather, climate. You stop all that and you start to experience that, really speaking, you're great, you're powerful, you're divine. And that is not concept, that is not something intellectual, but it's a just experience. And I was meditating on my picture according to Sathya Sai instruction for a few months. I can't say that I'm like doing that for years, but at least I have my personal experience for a few months, and it was huge. Just like, who is your God? Who is your object of concentration and worship? Then you come to the wall and see yourself. And it's nothing to do with ego. It's nothing to do with, to be proud about yourself in an egoistic sense. Okay, first of all, it's nothing to do with your ego because of few things. That's important, by the way. If you yourself meditate, concentrate on your picture on the wall, and put like candle, incense sticks, just bow down. Okay, it sounds crazy, but I mean it's really beautiful spiritual practice. But we have to be careful and not to ask somebody else to worship to your picture. You know what I mean? That what's happened, people sometimes say, okay, take my picture and worship to that. I mean, if people worship picture of Jesus the Christ, Krishna, Buddha, and Sathya Sai, that's real spiritual, devotion. But if different meditation and yoga masters, they take their own pictures, giving to the students, and say, okay, worship to my picture, that's mental hospital, that's what it is. So it means if you worship to your own photo, picture, that's meditation which may bring huge transformation in a few weeks, in a few months. Not tomorrow, but in a few weeks, in a few months. But of course we have to be careful and not to ask other people to meditate and worship to our form. So that's the essence of this simple and extremely powerful technique. And so that was my personal experience as well.